People often ask me, what does it mean to be a developmental coach? So I thought I'd probably better try and explain it to you. So being a developmental coach means that you're really versed in the psychology of adult development theory. So this is the theory that suggests that all adult human beings continue to evolve and grow up in the same way as children do throughout their adult years. We're quite comfortable with the idea that children will go from crawling to walking to running, and that you can't run before you've learnt to walk. But actually, that kind of same transition is happening with us internally as adults. So you might not see the same kind of physical differences, or maybe a few more wrinkles, but actually what's going on the inside is that we're still evolving, adapting and developing to our context and to our internal world. So those changes are happening throughout our entire lives, whether we are consciously aware of them or not. Some people do get stuck at a particular stage of development, and it's quite common to find that if there's congruence between your external world and your internal world, so how you see yourself and the things that you're doing with your life, that actually you can get quite comfortable in that position, and so there's not any reason to develop. But for a lot of us, actually, we're experiencing this amazing amount of complexity in the world around us, and so our internal world is also quite confused and conflicted. And it's there where we see that there is this opportunity to develop into a new version of ourselves, where the old version is no longer fit for purpose. We're over our heads, as Robert Keegan would say. We are overwhelmed by the circumstances that we find ourselves in, whether that is external to us or internal to us in our own minds. And so we develop through that stage into a greater version of ourselves. And each time we do that, we actually adapt the way that we see the world. The way that we make meaning in the world changes. So we upgrade the system, if you like. We take on board more information. We get more sophisticated in the way that we handle things, both from a kind of cognitive point of view, the way that we think about things in our minds, but also in the way that we relate with other people. So as we go through those developmental stages, we can come up against a number of different sorts of challenges. Some of those challenges include things that are maybe us stretching into the new version of ourselves. We describe that as your leading edge. It's like the best version of yourself on the best possible day. That version of us is emerging, but it's not quite there yet. So a developmental coach will work with that leading edge to go, okay, what's the best version? What can we possibly do here? How do we get more of that and less of some of the old ways that maybe are not so helpful for us anymore? Another thing that a developmental coach will do is to work with the kind of trailing edge stuff, so the stuff that is holding us back. If you imagine it a little bit like having ballast that we need to get rid of, we need to let go of that stuff in order to really step into the new version of ourselves, the better version of ourselves. And sometimes we'll deal with shadow issues as well. So there's stuff from our previous childhood orientation that has not been fully integrated and not been accepted as part of ourselves. So we need to go back and do some work to bring back on any shadow material and integrate it into the version that we can truly be. And that's what a developmental coach does. They work with the person exactly where they are, working on the stuff that they know is the best version of themselves, that leading edge, but also helping to integrate stuff that is no longer useful to us. Now, we transcend and include all of that material. So it's not like we abandon it all completely and it disappears. We bring it on board with us, and then we evolve to the next level, taking the best bits of it with us each time. So we literally expand as a human being into these later stages of consciousness. So developmental coaching is a really specific skill set. It's a bit niche, but it's a kind of a really important thing if you're somebody who is very interested in self-awareness, personal development, personal growth, and you know that there is a version of you that's desperate to get out, but you've got some stuff that you're just struggling with that you haven't been able to resolve on your own. That's where I can kind of come in, people like me who are doing developmental coaching work, because we have that deep understanding of the developmental stages and the predictable patterns that we go through that help us to navigate that shift much more easily when you're in the hands of a professional. That understanding of what your growth edge or your leading edge is. So how do we work with that wisdom that's coming on board, that version of you that has all the answers to everything? How do we bring that into the situation, but also acknowledging the fact that we might have stuff from the past that we might need to let go of? How do we do that in a safe and sensitive way to that situation? We really help people navigate those transitions between stages, so you can feel like you're very out of your comfort zone, very out of your depth, like you know things are changing but you're not quite ready to cope with them yet. And that's where having a developmental coach can be super helpful. Somebody to hold your hand, who understands what you're going through, who's been through it themselves, and can help you to navigate the challenges that come with it and really sort of emerge into that new version of you. And really what we're aiming to do is we're trying to extract all of the wisdom from all of that stuff that is happening and arising within you. So you're the one who's going to be the one with all the answers for your own scenario, for your own struggle. So it's about helping you to tap into that inner wisdom and then learn from it and keep on learning from it. And when we get it right, it feels very congruent. It feels like we're really in the zone. We're in our flow. We're fully aware of ourselves and what we're going through. And that helps us to be really our authentic selves, stepping into our path and making sure that we feel better about ourselves, more free, more creative, more you.